I have been waiting a long time for a new slide.
Yes, it's true. And while this year finally gave us the year of the flip, with many great choices, including smaller choices in the Retroid Pocket Flip 2, one of my favorite form factors, I, much like Carrie, have been waiting for a slide handheld. One of my favorite handhelds ever was the Sony Ericsson Xperia Play that I had way back a long time ago. I thought I was the coolest kid on the planet when I had this thing. But I wasn't a kid, I was an adult. But hey, I'm a kid at heart. Anyways, we're going to take a look at today the Anbernic RG slide. It's finally arrived. And while many people have already taken a look at this, Deadfred is going to give you his take on what I think about the slide. Is it too heavy, too big? How's it feel in my hands? Is it great? Is it all it's cracked up to be? Remember to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode of our awesome show. So, should you flip or should you slide?
I'm telling you, sliding is way more fun. You get that smooth glide.
No way. Flipping is where it's at. That aerial twist is unbeatable.
I don't think those two guys are going to settle it, but we've already reviewed this, so now it's time to unbox and review the Anbernic RG slide. Let's go. Oh, hey, why? Hey there, feller. Are you bored? Got nothing to do this weekend? Don't be that way. Come on down and learn how to win. Come on to Deadfred Bingo, just like these recent winners here.
Bingo!
Do you want to win the Deadfred way too?
See that? You could be a Deadfred winner too. Come check out our 3 convenient metro locations, including... No, wait, I don't own a bingo hall. That's kind of a cool thing. Wouldn't it be Deadfred Bingo? I don't know. Anyways.
Like and subscribe to Retro Gaming with Deadfred.
So as I told y'all, we're going to take a look at Anbernic's RG slide. Now, the channel's first experience with a slide device was actually Ayaneo's slide, which also was shipped out later by Antec called the Core HS. Now, while I like that device a lot, I had a little bit difficulty with how heavy it was in the center of gravity. Are we going to find a similar experience here? Well, let's stay tuned. But the one thing about the Ayaneo device was the box was amazing. And we know that Anbernic has typically produced decent boxes, but guys, this is a premium box. As you can see here, it was really impressive. Now my box got a little beat up coming over, so that was a little disheartening, but this is probably the most impressive packaging I've seen come out of an Anbernic device. So we have the device on here on this shiny glossy front, which has a nice texture to it. We have a nice logo down here at the bottom, and like the device itself and like Ayaneo's, it is a slide package. So as we slide it out there, bazooka, look, we have another beautiful logo here with silver foil inlay. I really like the design of this packaging. Moving to the side here, we do see that we have the 2 colorways, the black and the white, and then nothing else really on the other sides except made in China and nothing on the bottom. But once we get in and open this thing, we start to see a little bit of the premium continue, because echoing some of the PC manufacturers, especially Ayaneo, we have the first thing, we have this sleeve, this little folder here. And it's like, what is inside of this folder? So we open up this folder, and of course, the first thing we take out of this folder is a screen protector. Now, it's really nice. It comes with a screen protector because this is a screen that is not protected like your Flip. So that's pretty nice. Digging deeper inside this little package, we also have the manual. Now, this is your typical Anbernic manual. No surprises here. Looks pretty much like you would expect it to look. It is in Mandarin English, and it really looks the same as usual. Digging further, we have little wipes, but there's nothing else in this little package. So let's get this back in here. But again, it's really nice that they put this in this nice little package here, and it does have a really nice screen protector to go with it, although I'm sure you can buy additional ones. Now, taking the handheld out for a second and continuing on, we do have this nice little padding here. So really interesting that this is also on there to keep this thing protected while it ships. You saw the box was a little beat up, so kind of great that it has it on there. Digging deeper, we do have a box. And inside this box, once we open this box up, we do have our USB-C cord, and then we have some caps. Now in the RG557, we saw that they were starting to ship some caps with some of their Android handhelds. So I guess something they're starting to do, but I like that they do that. Nothing else underneath this, but again, pretty nice premium packaging, probably the nicest packaging I've seen Anbernic do in a while. Let's get all this put back together and let's continue and get the handheld out and take a look at it. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt the video, but I wanted to take a moment to talk to you about something sent to us by our friends at Mechdiy. So they sent us over an amazing card. It is the Surwish 256 gigabyte card for your Miyoo Mini Flip. That's right. If you want to have just a pre-set up experience with the games properly scraped with an amazing custom firmware that they created, then check out the link at the bottom here and get your own version of the Surwish OS for the Miyoo Mini Flip. Now I've been playing this and testing it out, and it has a bunch of awesome themes. It's got everything set up easy to go, and it is based on a version of CrossMix. So yes, this is awesome. I do highly recommend this. And again, if you already have the Flip, you can simply buy the card, or you can buy the card with the Flip itself. Again, hit the link at the bottom. We want to thank our friends at Mechdiy for sending this over for us to look at and test. But yeah, this Surwish is awesome. Also, check out the open source firmware at the GitHub. If you would want to set it up yourself, you can do that as well. Anyways, back to the show. Now, yes, taking the handheld out and holding this is quite an experience. I won't lie. The thing is heavy. I think that most of you have seen this before. In fact, I did when we were first discussing the specs that came out showing how much it weighed. Everybody was like, can that be right? This thing is a tank. And in fact, there is a lot of tank-like phones coming out now that are thick and heavy like this. So I kind of wonder if Anbernic missed an opportunity here to kind of market this as not only a slide, but a tough slide. Maybe they can do that. But holding this thing, normally I go over the buttons, and let me just say the buttons are the typical Anbernic quality. So no qualms there. The D-pad's good. The buttons are great. The sticks are good. They're not the best sticks that we've seen, but they are pretty good sticks. So let's talk about this thing and holding it. The slide mechanism is very satisfying. It's very satisfying, and in fact, they even went and did the work in the software in order to give you choices about what happens as you slide it up and down. So I really like that as well. Once this thing is extended, though, the center of gravity shifts, and because this is a metal plate back here, you suddenly get this thing being a little top-heavy. Now, to be honest with you, I was very concerned about that. I wasn't sure if holding this thing was going to feel comfortable. And I can tell you that laying in bed, this is not the greatest if you're laying on your back trying to hold it up. It's great for the view, but the center of gravity is just a little bit too much. Much like the Ayaneo slide, this just unfortunately has a center of gravity and weight that is just a little too unbalanced overall. Something like the like the Retroid Pocket Flip 2 is going to be a little more economical. And in fact, showing the two side by side to show a size comparison, they're really not that much different in size between the two. This one weighs more, it's a little heavier, but overall physical size is very similar. Now, I did play in this. I will say that after holding this for a while, I started to figure out how to grip this and have a better feel for it. Now, it's no lie that there are certain handhelds, looking at you, Retroid Pocket 5, that are completely awesome and still not great to hold overall until you get a grip or something. I don't know that a grip would make this better because it would just make it heavier. So that's probably not a great thing there. But once I figured out where to kind of hold it and position my hands, I started to actually get a little more used to it. It's a funny thing. The more I started to play this and use it, the more I started to actually like it. And so that kind of surprised me a little bit. Playing something like, I'll show on the screen here, Ape Escape 3 on the PS2, actually, was not bad. You put your 2 thumbs on the thumbsticks, and then you use the shoulder buttons for the rest of that, meaning you don't have to access the buttons down here for really anything except switching weapons, but you can probably figure out how to do that really quickly. And I was able to get that and have that working. So the overall form factor of this is not ideal. Now, I want to point out that this is a first generation device, and it's innovative, and I'm glad that Anbernic did it. Is it the worst handheld of 2025? I don't think so. I think there's a lot of problems with it, and I do agree with the assessment that it's not what everybody will like. I think it's going to be very divisive. But let me talk to you about what I really like, because this thing does have one thing that is super awesome about it, and that's the screen. So yes, this screen is a new screen Anbernic has created, which I think and believe we're going to see more of. It's a 4.7 inch LTPS in-cell multi-touch display. It is 120 hertz at a 1280 by 960 resolution, giving us a 4:3 screen ratio. Now, people have wanted a 4:3 larger screen ratio for a while, and now we have a custom screen here with a beautiful 120 hertz display. As I show you some footage of 120 hertz here, the reason that this is such a good screen, or why I like this so much, is because of the use of black frame insertion. For games like your older retro systems, which the CPU can really push this at 120 frames, or having a black frame insertion where you insert a black frame in between, you can get an ultra smooth looking image. I am a huge fan of 120 hertz screens. The Odin Portal 2, for example, has a 120 hertz panel, and I love it for that. So that made a huge difference for this handheld. While, as I discussed earlier, holding this thing is like holding a brick. And as I played it and slid and used this thing, yes, I got more used to it. But the magic of gaming, the magic of transporting me away, the magic of this screen, I found myself actually playing this. Yes, this may be the worst handheld of 2025, according to some folks, but I love it. I actually like this a lot. Now, the real test is going to be 3 months from now, 6 months from now. Am I in my honeymoon phase? I'm okay enough to realize my own potential new buyer bias, which maybe is why I'm so excited about this. But I love this screen. We're going to see it in more handhelds. Maybe this is not going to be the one they should have launched with. I don't know. But let me tell you, the screen is the real deal, guys. I don't see any light bleed. It seems to be clear. It has a lot of brightness, and it is a good touch-sensitive screen that works flawlessly. So what do we have here? What else? We have the T820. So as far as gaming goes, we know the limitations of the CPU. We do have, for some of the other handhelds, Gamma support. So I'm excited to see if Gamma brings it to this device. Hopefully he will bring it to just improve it even better. And Android on this is Android 13. It's an experience we've seen, nothing different here. We do have Anbernic's AI stuff. It's gimmicky. I'm an AI guy, but it's kind of gimmicky and it's not great yet. But hey, it's something on there. We have a premium package, a unbalanced, heavy handheld that is not really pocketable. But guys, I did want to point this out. I did discover that my Ayaneo DMG bag, this is a great little leather bag. Hit the link down at the bottom to pick one of these up, is a perfect fit for this. So if you decide to pick one up, you can get the Anbernic case or spend a little more and get a really nice case, which even has a place for your credit cards. So overall, let's do the assessment here. Is this the worst handheld of 2025? I don't know. I don't think so. There's plenty others. I deal in really bad handhelds. So maybe if you're talking about only the ones that get high profile releases, could it be the most disappointing? I don't know. I think that this is going to be a handheld much like others like the KTR1 or the Pocket S, where a certain subset of gamers are going to fall in love with this like I did, but many other people are going to be like, man, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. It's too heavy. It's too unergonomic. No grip can save it. It's just going to make it bulkier. But guys, beautiful screen. What a beautiful screen. And what a great mechanism. I, for one, would like to see Anbernic continue this. Now, of course, it's going to depend on sales. I don't know how well this is going to sell. At $200, maybe on sale for $190, $180, it's going to be a hard buy. But if this thing drops around to $150 regularly with coupons, I can say the trade-off might be it. You know, again, you're looking at competition with the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro, spending a little more and getting the Flip 2 or the Retroid Pocket 5. And then you've got, of course, Anbernic's own 556, 557. So it's really kind of hard to know. I will say that if they'd put the Dimensity 8300 in this, it still would have been too heavy, too big, off-centered, and it would not have helped. They got to figure out how to get this thing more ergonomic. But again, this is Gen 1. It's their first gen attempt at it. So hopefully they'll do it. So guys, that's my thoughts. This may be, quote unquote, the worst expected handheld of 2025, but for Deadfred, I actually like it. What can I say? Again, when I play something on this and I start to forget that I'm playing and I look down at it, I forget that I'm even holding it. It's a great experience for Deadfred. I think many of you won't get that experience. You're going to find this to be just too much. But for those of you that do, it's great. One last thing, shout out to the Discord. And there's a lot of testing on streaming. If you want to use this for streaming, it's not good for streaming. I'm not a big streamer on these kind of handhelds. I use my Absolute or the Odin, but really the Absolute that I just recently reviewed for streaming. I'm starting to stream, but I don't think that this is intended for that. This is a 4:3 screen anyways, and so this is really intended for that kind of thing, but streaming on this is not good. Remember to hug your loved ones and love your hugged ones, because tomorrow is never promised. We'll see you next time, Deadheads. Leave me a comment. Let me know. I know this is going to be divisive. Where do you stand? What do you think?